Hey everyone, it's Abby Glassenberg from Craft Industry Alliance. I hope you are having a fantastic day today. I am here live every Wednesday. We're a little earlier this week just due to scheduling, but we always do our member spotlight on Wednesdays where we drop in on a member and learn all about their business and get to see some samples of their products and hear about their journey. So this week, I'm super excited. We are going to be talking to Maridee from Yarnover Truck. And it is she has such a cool business. And Maridee's been a member of Craft Industry Alliance for a while now and comes to a lot of our events. And I'm just really excited to have the opportunity to drop in on Maridee and learn about her yarn truck, which she is like a mobile yarn shop that she drives all around Southern California. So Maridee will be joining us in just a few minutes. And in between, I wanted to tell you some new things that are going on at Craft Industry Alliance. The major one of which is our new course all about insurance. So I see Maridee here. I'm just going to walk. Just launched a video course about insurance. More information on that to come soon. I know insurance is boring, but hopefully we've made it exciting. And hi, Maridee, I'm excited to see you.
Hi there. How are you today?
I am really good. I am super excited to learn all about Yarnover Truck and about, driving around a mobile yarn shop. So let's start by talking a little bit about how this concept came to you. I know you had a business partner back in the day.
Yep.
So tell us the story of the origin of Yarnover Truck.
It's a funny one. So I used to work for a major motion picture studio doing advertising. My job was to make sure that everybody's name was spelled correctly on all the advertising materials. And I had a couple errors in early 2012 that didn't make me feel like I was loving my job anymore. And so I thought, maybe this isn't the thing for me to do. So I started meeting with a career counselor. And one of the exercises was I needed to write and describe my perfect job. And I couldn't do it in a marketing job. Like I'd been working in marketing ever since college. And I was so struggling. I could not get anything on paper. I had a meeting with her like the next day and it had been a week and I hadn't done anything. And so I said, okay, forget marketing. What do you really want to do? And I proceeded to write 5 pages about owning a yarn shop and traveling and teaching and interacting with people. So I was like, maybe there's something to this. And at the same time, I was in a knit group with a bunch of friends. And one of my friends had been helping a bunch of the local yarn shops in LA with their social media. And so I said to her, I'm like, am I crazy? There was an area in Hollywood at the time that did not have a yarn shop. So my idea was to call it Yarnover Hollywood and then use all the pictures of all the actors that you see, like photos of old actors knitting on set between scenes. And I thought I would decorate the shop with that. And she was like, yeah, that's a great idea. I think you should try it. And then I started looking at rents and was like, oh my God, no, this is scary. And at the same time, she was teaching a knitting class at her work. She was working for another studio doing animation. And one of her students said, no, don't do a store. Do one of those trucks. Because at the time, there was a lot of fashion trucks in LA. There were probably a dozen or so. There was a fashion truck. There was a flower truck. There was somebody selling school supplies. And we were like, hey, why not? And so Barb sends me this super long email. Barb used to be my business partner. And at the end, she's like, by the way, we're partners. So we found that there was an association of mobile retail in Los Angeles that somebody had started. And that particular store happened to be open that night at an event. So we went and looked at the store, talked to the owners, and then called one of our mutual friends and said, are we crazy? And she's like, yes, but in the best way possible. And that was in July of 2012. And we launched the Yarnover Truck in March of 2013. So
that's amazing. What a great story. And what kind of vehicle is this? Like, did you do a lot of research into the exact kind of truck to buy? Like, I don't know anything about trucks. So that would be a big stumbling block for me.
We knew we wanted something that was going to be small enough that we didn't need a special driver's license in California. So the truck is about the size of a UPS truck. And ours used to be a little Debbie delivery truck. And her name is Debbie. for that reason. So you'll see, if you get emails from me, sometimes you'll see Maridee and Debbie, the Yarnover truck. That's where we got her name from. And what we did, honestly, is we looked on Craigslist. We went and visited a whole bunch of trucks and to see how they were doing stuff and how it all worked. And we actually brought a friend of ours with us, her and her mom. And one of the things we noticed was that her mom wasn't super comfortable going into some of the trucks because the stairs were not super solid. So we had, Barb has two twin brothers. One does graphic design and one does construction. And they did the inside and the outside. And the brother who did all the inside construction also designed stairs. So we have these stairs that are on hinges that go up and down. And then I've got posts so that they're really solid and you're comfortable. Because I know knitters, they're a wide ranging audience. I needed people who weren't all that stable on their feet to be comfortable coming up my couple stairs to get in the truck.
And then when you come inside, describe kind of, or, I don't know if you can show us or you just describe to us, but like, what is it? How is it like built out? Do you have like cubbies or shelves or tables?
I have cubbies.
What is it
In
like?
fact, I'm going to take this shawl down. So behind me, you can kind of see the cubbies. And we've got cubbies on both sides, and they're really deep. So they are as deep as the wheel wells are. So I can get 2 stacks of yarn. I actually can get a whole lot of yarn in this truck. It's pretty amazing. And then we took out the passenger side. So I'm going to go this way now.
Okay, great.
Took out the passenger seat, and there's the counter. And then you can see the back of the driver's seat. And then we've got, like, so after the cubbies, we wanted kind of an open space where you could like check out so you didn't feel too closed in. And then the best thing that her brother did is I have a skylight. And so the top of the truck is open.
And that makes it feel so like airy and
exactly.
Exposed.
Like there's bright. I actually have a shade here because if I move the shade, there I'm in the sun. So it's actually pretty sunny here. So it makes it so it's comfortable, it's wide, and the floors are brown, the walls are white, so you can see all the pretty colors. And we had visited several trucks and they always all kind of felt closed in. And so when we were working with her brother, we told him we wanted it to feel more open. So what do we do? So that was the idea with the bigger space at the checkout. And then he came up with the skylight and it was phenomenal.
And does everything stay put? Like if you go over a pothole, like
it does. That was our biggest concern. And so these cubbies, we thought that initially maybe we would put, like, we go to IKEA and get some bins that we'd have to flip up and down because we'd seen other trucks that had to like pack everything up and then leave.
Yeah.
But we forgot to measure the bins before he built the shelves. So they didn't fit. So we were a bit stressed when we first got the truck. We're like, what do we do? What do we do? And my mom came up with this brilliant idea that actually has worked really well for several things. We have hooks along the top here, and then I have a sheet with grommets, and I clip those down so that the yarns in the cubbies don't move. The stuff on the walls might fall, but I can restock that. That's pretty simple. But the majority of stuff stays in place pretty good.
That's great. And so how do you sort of make a schedule? Are you going to yarn festivals? Are you going to special events? Or how often are you open, and how do people know when and where to find you?
It's kind of evolved. So right now I'm open basically about 2, maybe 3 weekends a month at the most. And it's usually Saturday and Sunday. Once in a while, I'll do a Friday event. There's one in my neighborhood that I always do. So it's kind of more of an event to come find us. We're not really open every day. And what I usually do is I partner with other yarn shops, which initially surprised me. I didn't think they were going to want to have anything to do with me. And actually, those are some of the best days for both of us because I stock yarns that aren't in your typical yarn store. I don't have any of the major brands. I only carry small independent hand dyes. So that's my specialty. And then any major fiber event that's happening, there's a couple of craft fairs. I'm trying to get to my people. We tried going to some food truck events because those are pretty prevalent in Southern California. But the only thing anybody wanted to do was buy the finished pieces that we had as samples. And as you are a maker, you know that those aren't always financially the best way to go because nobody wants to spend $500 for a shawl. As much as I'd love them to, they just don't want to do that.
So what do people say when they come in? People who have never thought of a yarn truck before, what
Oh,
kinds of things do they say when they walk in?
well, they're like, wow, you got a lot in here. And oh my God, do you really drive this? That's the question. Do you really
Okay,
drive this around? Yes,
right.
I really drive this around. And the other question is, do I sleep in here? And I absolutely do not sleep in here.
Right, right. This is not Nomad Land. Yeah, you're not
Yeah.
right.
We have a little closet and everyone's like, is that the bathroom? And I was like, no, it's not. I don't do that.
Okay, yeah, yeah. And would you, I mean, I can also see this being almost like an extension for a brick and mortar yarn shop. Like I could see a brick and mortar yarn shop saying, we're going to get a truck and then we're going to be able to take the show on the road at different times. Would that work? What do you think of that idea?
There are a couple. I know there's a shop in Florida that does that. They're kind of on the edge of like a very rural area. So they will take the truck out to different areas. And the thing what I try to do is I try to go, you think Los Angeles, there's got to be a ton of yarn shops. And yes, in LA County there are a lot, but the surrounding counties don't have very many. So I'm trying to go to places that probably can't support a local yarn shop every day, but if I come every 4 to 6 months, they can come and they can shop. And then everything in the store is also in an online shop. So if you come see me and you're like, oh, I should have grabbed another skein, or oh my God, now I want that shawl that I saw, you can always buy it online from me.
Yeah, you're like the bookmobile. It's like
Exactly.
so exciting when you come to town.
Yep, that's the best way to describe me. Everyone's like, it's. We first opened, everyone's like, oh, it's like a taco truck, and I was like, well, yes, but a different kind of fiber. But you don't actually walk into a taco truck. You
Right.
actually come into the truck. Yep.
Right, exactly. But you would come into the bookmobile, look at all the
Yep.
books, and get what you wanted. So this is
Exactly.
actually much more similar to that. It is different from a food truck in that way because
Right.
you do get to come inside,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
explore.
Exactly.
So how has COVID been? Has this been a hard period for you? Have you made some adjustments?
Oh, I made a ton of adjustments. I actually didn't open until last July. So when the world shut down in March, everything went virtual. And so we were supposed to have a yarn crawl in LA County 2 weeks after. It was going to be the last week of March. So when everything shut down March 13th, that got scrapped. So everything went online. And then what I started to do is I've got a virtual stitch group. And during COVID, we were meeting twice a week. Now we're down to 1 day a week. So every Thursday night, we all jump on Zoom, and I've got people all over the state of California, even outside California, who jump in. And that has been my saving grace because I still felt connected. I still had people I could, talk to, ask questions about. They get to see all my newest things because when they come in, I usually show them to the stitch group before I pop them on the truck. And that's been really lovely. And so I'm keeping that going forward. But from COVID, once we did start opening after COVID, I limit the number of people. I used to let the truck get full of people and you are just crammed and super close. And that does not feel safe to me. So right now it's 2 people or a household. So like, a family with kids or something, they all can come on together. But right now it's just 2 people and then me. So the 3 of us, it's only 107 square feet. It's not a very big truck. I think tip to, end of stairs to the nose, I'm 22 feet long. So it's not a ton of space. And I don't think everyone wants to get really cozy quite yet. So
Yeah.
I'll ease those up as I feel more comfortable. I'm not there yet, but it's been going well.
That's great. And it's great to hear that you started this virtual stitch group and that actually is something you're going to continue after COVID. I feel like there are these little COVID blessings in there and it's sometimes hard to recognize them, but it sounds like for you, that was one of them. And it's also great that there's e-commerce because as you said, you specialize in small batch, indie dyed yarns. And so you're not going to be able to go, if you're back home or somewhere else and, and find that exact thing. So to be able to say, oh, I need another skein or whatever, and be able to buy that online to supplement because, you run out of yarn or whatever. So
absolutely. And I find that I'm able to introduce people to dyers they might not have seen before. Like I hear that a lot, like, oh, I've never heard of these guys. They're, they've got some great stuff. So then they get to touch and feel, get introduced, and then they might go buy direct from that dyer because I'm small. I can only have maybe 10 to 15 colors from any one dyer. I might have a base or 2, maybe 3. So because of the size, I'm a little bit limited, but I've got 13 different dyers on the truck right now. So I've got a good selection and really try to bring things in that are new when I can.
I mean, that to me reminds me of shopping at a farmer's market where you're gonna go, you're gonna get, like, I bought some cheese at this farmer's market not long ago that was like so good. And so, like, you're not gonna find that at Whole Foods. It's different. It's a different kind of cheese. This guy makes, that's all he does. He makes cheese and brings it to the farmer's market. And so this makes it special that you're going to a truck, you're gonna discover that feeling of discovery. Like, this is something I've never seen before. This is something special or different that even if I do have a local yarn shop in my backyard, it's probably not there.
Well, and I probably have a couple things different, you know, I mean, and when I partner with the shops, what they tell me is that they're having like a sale day without having to put anything on sale because people get to come and shop from two stores in one spot. So
Right.
it's
And
kind
it's
of an
great that
event.
they're not seeing that as competitive. You know,
Right.
I could see the feeling maybe at first, like, oh no, I don't want another shop in my parking lot. But what you're saying is basically it almost makes it like a little mini yarn festival where you've
Yeah.
got two places to go and it makes it more interesting, and plus your selection is probably pretty different anyway. So
Yeah, I mean, when we first started, we didn't, you know, we were convinced the yarn shops were going to want nothing to do with us. And then they started asking us to come. And we were like, wow, really? And it's actually, I mean, yeah, still some stores are not, they don't want to do it. And I totally respect that. Not everybody gets us. But those that do, it's great. You know, I've got about a dozen or so different shops that I go to different times of the year. And we have a great time.
yeah, I love that spirit of collaboration. Well, Maridee,
Yeah.
I love having you also as a member of Craft Industry Alliance. I see your smiling face at our roundtables, and you come to a lot of our events, and I just so appreciate that. So thank you for being a member.
Yeah, I found it really helpful and connected with other people. I'm doing the mastermind group right now, and that's
Oh,
going
good.
really well. Yeah.
Excellent. That's so great to hear. So tell us, I guess, where we should go to find out about everything Yarnover Truck.
I am Yarnover Truck as one word everywhere. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, yarnovertruck.com. Our main homepage on the website is really the best way to get us because you've got links to social media. We do virtual appointments. So if I'm not going to be in your neighborhood and you're still not sure, you know, shopping online is hard and matching colors when you're looking at two different screens. So what I'll do is I'll do a private Zoom with you, bring all my stuff to the truck, and then I'll start pulling colors and matching and stuff. And you can book an appointment. I put together pattern bundles. I've got a link to the newest yarns we've added. And plus there's a button on the homepage to join our virtual stitch group on Thursdays. So that's kind of the place to start. And then you'll be able to get everywhere else as well. Newsletter, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, this has been so great. I just love this business concept. I'm so super excited about it. And thank you so much for joining us for our member spotlight.
Yeah, this was fun. Thank you.
All right. Bye. Bye, everybody. Thank you.